Okay, for today's episode of the Athletic Mind Unleashed, we have someone very special. When I was looking through all her websites and all the things that she has been doing, I was like, oh my God, this woman is absolutely amazing. She has been doing like so many things and she has been through so many different experiences that it's like hard to know where to start. So I'm just gonna give you like a short introduction because this is Fitz Koehler of fitness.com, which is like I think very cool rendition of fitness. And she describes herself as noisy, bossy, compelling, and she has done amazing things like authoring multiple books called My Noisy Cancer Comeback, Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, and the Healthy Cancer Comeback Journal. So as you can already see, there's a big story behind all this. And she's also like one of the best keynote speakers in America. She's going around the states and everywhere else announcing races, which is like, wow, what a job. And she's also trying to do her best in fitness to motivate and innovate and just, bring a lot of joy into this world, I would say. But okay, hello, Fitz. It's so nice to
Well,
have you here.
thank
Amazing
you for having me with
day.
you. And I wish I were back in Estonia with you. What beautiful little country. And I ended up there kind of by surprise, but it holds a very special place in my heart. You're
Wow.
fortunate. I love being an American, but Estonia is pretty darn cool too.
Yeah, we already love
Oh,
it because you know where Estonia is. It's like even in Europe, it's this tiny little place in this northeast of Europe, and not many people have been here, and I don't blame them anyway because it is a tiny and little bit maybe
oh,
random place.
but small but mighty. So just because it's small doesn't mean it's not
Mm.
wonderful. I really, really enjoyed Estonia and I brag about it often, believe it or not. Yeah.
Oh wow! Coming from somebody who's like traveling a lot, this means a lot for us Estonians. We like to think about ourselves as big nation because we just have like 1 billion
Okay.
people,
Okay.
1 million, not billion, and we like to think, okay, we are mighty. So it's coming from you.
Yeah, for sure. If you have any people in Estonia who need a noisy fitness professional or a speaker, let me know first because I'd love to come back. It's so great.
Yeah, I would love to know more about this noisy fitness speaker. You said you're like going around and then announcing races. What
So
does
I
it
do a
actually mean?
variety. It's funny, all except for writing, all of the work I do is on a microphone. I do a lot of speaking. And then when it comes to race
Hmm.
announcing, I am at the start and finish lines of some of the largest, most iconic road races in America. So the Los Angeles Marathon, Buffalo Marathon, Fargo Marathon, massive races, usually between about 10 and 30 something thousand runners show up to my races. And as the runners arrive on race morning, I'm there on the microphone. The fabulous music is playing, and I get everybody engaged, informed, entertained. We have a lot of fun. I prefer my start lines to feel a little more like rock concerts than races. And yeah,
Ooh.
so we have a good time. And then I whip them into a frenzy and I yell go. And they lose their little minds. They're jumping and hands high and shouting. And then they take off to run the race. And then they come back to the finish line, and there again I'm playing rowdy music and welcoming each of them in by name. But you, on race day, you can hear me for a good solid half a mile wherever I am. So that's where
Mm.
the noisy part comes in. And I love race day because
Yeah.
it's, my wish as a fitness professional is that everybody would exercise. And then on race day, a race director says, hey, we have 25,000 people who want to exercise. And so what a delight for me. And on the fitness side of things, the speaking side, that's my opportunity to educate people, get them informed, compel them to do
Mm.
better. So I don't really focus on one type of exercise. I just focus on getting people to invest in their health.
Yeah, I can totally appreciate what you're doing because I used to be
Okay.
a marathon runner for like
Wow.
10 years. So I finished 20 marathons. I started more, but I think I quit like three or four. So I know how important it is to have this energy going up on the race day because it's like you're already a little bit nervous, but it's the cool kind of nervous as well. And if somebody is also encouraging you, this is much appreciated. So in Estonia, okay, there are some guys speaking into the microphone, but it's not like, "Ooh, yeah, go!" It's more like just announcing and giving
Uh, s-
information. So I think
Sadly, most race announcers are like that. They're just reading a script in a monotone voice. And, I just have a different vibe. I have a different expectation. I know what would make me happy when I line up for a race. So I want people
Mhm.
to feel loved. I want everyone who shows up to feel like they're part of our team, because running is an individual sport. You go and you do it alone, but just because you arrived
Mhm.
alone doesn't mean you're alone. You're a part of us. We're a big, it's a running family, and we all help each other. And I just think it should be celebrated. So maybe I will come to Estonia
Yeah.
one day. Maybe that's where I'll get back. I'll make a Estonia marathon fun. Do they have an Estonia marathon?
Yeah, we had the Tallinn Marathon, that which is the biggest. It's in
Okay, I've been
in
to Tallinn.
September.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, that's the capital. So that's in September, and this is also like the
Okay.
national championship. So this is also where the elite
Cool. Of
Estonians are running, and of course we always have some
course.
Kenyan runners as well, because it's like good flat course. It's September. It's not too hot anymore, so it's also nice to try get a new personal
Well, you
best.
know what? If there's a
So
prestigious
yeah,
title and some money to be won, those Kenyans are going to come and take it. They're so good.
yeah, they always try, and usually
You
they
do.
also succeed in this. But yeah, it's their
That's
career, so we
right.
can't
That's
blame
right.
them
And they're
anyway. So
always so
you know,
lovely and delightful. I've worked with a bunch of wonderful African athletes, and they're very polite and sweet. It's nice
mhm.
people.
Yeah, I would say they're quite
Yes,
modest as well. I've seen like they're like doing something so big, but in the personalities usually quiet, modest. They just want to go and
absolutely,
run.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So how did you even get into these races? Were you like runner
Yeah,
yourself
so
at
I
some
am a
point?
runner. I am a mediocre runner. I win zero championships. I am not fast, but I do run. Where I became involved as a race announcer is I was speaking. So Walt Disney World here in Florida has a race
Mhm.
series, and at the expo where people come to pick up their packets, they would host lectures. And so I was virtually their fitness expert. I would show
Mm.
up for all their races and I would speak on strength training for runners or other similar topics, fitness oriented sports conditioning for runners. And their race announcer, Rudy
Mm.
Novati, who has probably the biggest voice in racing, he was also tasked with introducing me before I spoke every time. And he just loved my presentations. He would always say, "You're so fun and you're so engaging." And, it's just, there's such good experiences. And finally, he said, "You know what?
Yeah.
I need a co announcer for the Orange County Marathon in California in a few months.
Mm.
Would you be interested?" And I said, "Well, I've never done it before, but I would love to give it a go." So that race director went to fitzness.com, checked out my site, learned a little about me. We had a brief conversation on the phone, and he said, "You know what? I'd love to give you a try. Come on out and announce our race." And Rudy showed
Mhm.
me the ropes. And about an hour after yelling go on marathon morning, Gary, the race director, came over and said, "Would you come back next year?" I said I'd love to, because it was so much
Mm.
fun and really utilized my skill set. And then there were other race directors there who
Mhm.
said, "Would you come announce my races?" And so it's just grown and grown, and I've been doing
Yeah.
it officially for 10 years now, and I just so much fun. Runners are the best
Wow.
people,
I think this is so cool. It's like you never think about, okay, this could
right?
also be like a career, but it can. And it totally makes sense when
Well,
you talk
yeah, it's
about
funny how
it.
many people say, "Do you get paid for that?" And I say, "Yeah, I get a paycheck. They pay for my airfare. I mean, this is a job." Now, mind you, it's so wonderful that it's hard to call it a
Yeah.
job because I love it so much. But the reality is,
Mm.
I have a very important function on race day. I have a necessary skill set, and without someone like me, the race would be much different.
Yeah, and it's like a rock star life or like a superstar. You're going there,
Yeah.
you're giving your performance, and you are getting paid for this. And singers and other performers, they also do something similar, and it is completely normal. And I think it also enhances the experience for the runners quite a lot. So I think
Well,
it's
thank you. I
important.
think so. I really connect with the runners. As you mentioned, some race announcers, they just read the script and read the names and they just get out of there. But
Mhm.
I truly love these people. I just adore them. And so they become my best friends. I have thousands and thousands of best friends across the world thanks to race announcing. So it's cool.
Oh, that's amazing. You also mentioned strength training for runners. So I used to be a runner, and in my last years, I also started doing more strength training to become a better runner. And yes, it works. and it totally makes sense. Now I switch to bodybuilding. Tell me a little bit about this strength training for
Yes.
runners
So one of the
as
main
well.
causes for runner pain is weakness and tightness. And runners have a really bad habit of usually sticking to running and only running. Runners tend to exclusively run and ignore all the other
Mhm.
pillars of fitness. And so it's true, if you want to run further, faster, and pain-free, strength training, very specific strength training, should be a part of your training program. And so I have on the cover of fitzness.com, there's a block called Strength Training for Runners. It's a 12-minute strength training
Mm.
video designed just for you if you walk or run at any distance. And I take you through it. It's free and it's just vital. And the people who utilize my program utilize this 12-minute video, ideally every other day or every third day. Man, they come back and they say, my hip no longer hurts, or my back doesn't hurt, or I just PR'd and I PR'd again. And
Mhm.
so, strength training is not only important for athletes, as you
Mm.
know, but strength training is important for everybody. Everybody. If you're just a non
Yeah.
athlete who doesn't do strength training, know that consequences will kick in. You will have back pain, you will have knee pain, you will struggle
Mhm.
to do mundane things like lifting up grandchildren or children or lifting groceries. And if you are stronger, and that's synonymous with being more capable, more resilient, less likely to be injured. So, strength training is necessary. If you would like to live long and you would like to live well, strength training should be a high priority. And it's also the fountain of youth. If you would like your body to look fantastic and feel fantastic, there is nothing sexier or more youthful than fit muscles. And I'm not suggesting big, bulky muscles. If you're a bodybuilder, to earn bulky muscles, you have to put in a lot of effort. You have to go above and beyond a regular strength training routine. You have to go above and
Mhm.
beyond general nutrition. So, especially to the women who fear having big, bulky muscles, it's just
Yeah.
not going to happen. So, make time for it. And
Yeah.
I have tons of resources. If anyone wants free training on fitzness.com, there's a million short little videos targeting each body part, and it should be easy, right?
Wow. Amazing. Yeah. So it sounds like you are giving a lot of information. You're trying to give a best knowledge to the people. What is motivating you? What is driving
Yeah,
you to do all
I
this?
truly believe in all of this. So I started teaching fitness right before I turned 15, and it benefited me so greatly. And I loved
Wow.
connecting with other people. I loved seeing them succeed, not only physically, but emotionally. Their mental strength increased. They were doing better at work. They had better relationships. I just truly believe in fitness and its power to help people live better and live longer. And I just made it my mission to help people tack 10 years at least of quality life onto everyone whom I come across by making fitness understandable, attainable.
Mhm.
And there's so many people who earn plaques and trophies for their work, right? There's a lot of awards handed out for number one sales guy and number one nurse. And my
Mm.
rewards are happy humans who feel good in the skin they're in, people who love their body. When they reach out and say, I've lost 30 pounds and I'm fitting into my jeans that I
Mm.
haven't worn in 10 years, that's really meaningful to me. So I just genuinely believe in it and I genuinely care.
Wow. This is amazing. And one topic that I know that my listeners might be very interested in is also keeping up with the fitness and health
Yeah.
routines when you are traveling because you are going all over the place. You are like traveling all the time. You said 30
Yeah.
trips per year, and it's like, okay. I think some people would use it as excuse. It's like, oh, I'm traveling all the
Yeah.
time. I can't keep up with my fitness and I can't choose what I eat. So how do you cope with
So
this?
I am exhibit A on that. It can be done. And it is probably one of the most common excuses I hear. Oh, I travel. I'm busy. I can't. Baloney. So I'm going to start with two facts. Number one,
Mhm.
there are free sidewalks and parks everywhere in the world. So if you would like to go for a walk anywhere on planet Earth, you can do it. If you would like to go running, if you would like to do push ups, there are parks, there are sidewalks, there are floors. If you are standing on a floor right now, know that you can do squats or dips or jumping jacks on the floor. So having no equipment or no gym is not a legitimate excuse. It's just a lie that you tell yourself to excuse yourself from
Yeah.
pursuing things you know you should be doing. So exercise can happen anywhere. And then eating, believe it or not, they sell fruits and vegetables and water everywhere in the world. Absolutely everywhere in the world you can get those things. So if you're someone who says, well, I was in a rush, I could only get fast food, I can only have a burger and french fries. Well, you're a liar, because it's so quick and easy to peel a banana. It's so quick and easy to toss a few nuts in
Oh
your
yeah.
mouth. So people just are
Mm.
averse. I hate to say discomfort, but they want what they want, right? I really want french fries. I want ice cream. I want a fancy coffee, whatever it is. They want it more than they want health. They want it more than they want vibrancy. And it's the same people usually that are saying,
Mm.
oh my gosh, I need to lose. Are you guys, do you do stones or pounds in Estonia? Kilos. Okay. I need to
Kilos.
lose a certain amount of kilos, but they're not
Yeah.
willing to put in the work to lose the amount of kilos. So it's just training while
Mhm.
traveling is about taking those good habits that you know. I mean, we all learned when we were about 5 years old that exercise was important. And we were encouraged to play sports and run
Yeah.
around and stretch. And all those things we learned when we were five, they're still valid today. All the things we learned about nutrition when we were five, that certain foods are healthy and processed foods and overly sugary foods and fried foods are not so healthy, those things are still true today. But people find they just do what they want. So what I'm telling you is that if you start prioritizing nutrition, you will see it everywhere. When I go to the airport, even in the little
Mhm.
kiosks in the hall, not even the restaurants or the stores, but there's always a little kiosk where you can buy a salad, where you can buy some fruit, where you can buy some nuts, where you can buy a chicken
Mhm.
breast in there or water. So make it a priority. Stop making excuses. Listen to us. We care about you. We're smart. And then when it comes to exercise, you just got to force it in. Maybe you wake up 20 minutes early, or you pop out of your meeting to go for a walk. If you're going to meet with someone, let's say you're a sales professional and you want to do business with a person, say, okay, can we go for a walk and talk about it instead of just sitting, sitting, sitting. So
Yeah.
those are my biggest suggestions. Also, I travel with bands. I wish I had one on me right now, but the resistance bands, they're so
Mm. Yeah.
inexpensive. They're lightweight. You can put it in your luggage without it adding much bulk or weight to your travel. And then you can really get so much done with a
Mhm.
jump rope and a couple of resistance bands. And I take them everywhere. They're always in my luggage, they're always in my backpack. I keep them in the trunk of my car. So
Yeah.
bands are another quick and easy secret for traveling and staying fit.
Yeah. I think it's all about the mindset and the identity
Yeah.
that you choose to have. Do you choose to have this identity that, okay, I'm somebody who is always prioritizing my health, or you choose to be like, oh, yeah, I'm
Right.
just not going to prioritize. I'm going to be the lazy person because
Yeah.
it's, the easy option. But if somebody is, maybe constantly, frequently traveling, or maybe as digital nomads, you can't have all these excuses, because if you have these excuses, at some point you won't have your health anymore. So I think this is why the mindset shift is so important. For me, I have already decided,
Yeah.
okay, I'm an athlete, so it's already a big part of my identity. And of course, this happened because I've been doing
Right.
it for many, many years. And for me, I always say the first thing I pack is like my running shoes or my training stuff. And then let's see what else I can fit in the bag. So this is always
Smart.
number one. Because yeah, I can't imagine not doing it. And when I arrive, I'm like, okay, where's the closest gym? Where can I run? Where can I walk? I'm already looking for the opportunities. And for me, I think it's even
Yeah.
exciting. Oh, new place, new training opportunities. So it's like you can go with all the excuses, I can't, or you can be like curious, you can be open minded, you can be ready.
And the other thing is, if sometimes when I'm talking about this stuff, I'm thinking of business, right? Business travel, and business travel can be chaotic. I get it. So do it anyways, right? But
Mhm.
let's talk about vacation. Sometimes I have been on vacation at a resort in Jamaica where nobody had a schedule. We were just there to have fun. And I would exercise in the morning and get to breakfast. And people were like, oh my God, you're exercising on vacation. Why? And I would say, you're the same person that when you're at home, you claim you can't
Mhm.
exercise because you have no time. All right, well, you're here at a resort in Jamaica. All you have is time. Can you make it? Can you do it? You can.
Yeah.
And if you're one of those folks who's maybe you're overweight, out of shape, and you're telling people, oh, I just don't have time, trust me, zero people believe you. Zero people believe you. It's
Yeah.
important for you to realize that if you stand naked in the mirror And I think everybody should stand naked in the mirror, take a look, and see if you like what you see.
Mm.
If you do, congratulations, that's fantastic. If you do not like what you see, know that that is your fault, that you did this to yourself. And I don't say that to be mean. What I want you to do is take complete and utter responsibility of your own body. Like, fine, you're
Mhm.
not responsible for your height, but your strength or lack of it, your muscle
Mhm.
mass, do you have many kilos of fat on your body or are you lean? That is your fault. And when you can take ownership of your body, then the good stuff happens, because then you understand that you actually have power to make the change, and you can make your body better. You can make it 1% stronger this week. You can make it 1% leaner this week. You can make it 1% more flexible. And you don't have to be who you were in school when you were a kid, high school, or whatever we call it. You don't have to be what you were 10 years ago. All you have to do is try to be a teeny tiny bit better today, and then a little better the next day. And eventually
Mhm.
you'll be on a podcast like the two of us talking about how great it.
True. And it's like I also had a health coaching client. We've been working together for more than 1 year. In the beginning, she came to me, she was like, okay, I'm a total, couch potato, but I want to change. I want to start working on my health. But she had like a little bit of resistance. So I was like, okay, let's be
Oh,
playful and let's do it very slowly. So I asked her to get these two small kettlebells. She even named them Jasmine
cute,
and
cute.
Ginger at some point. And at first I was like, just do 1 minute, just do something and just play. And I didn't give her any exercises. I was okay, just do something. And she was just, sometimes she came home, she picked them up, played around with them a little bit. And at some point, we also had this Excel and this calculation where all the minutes were adding up. So she was doing maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And at some point, she was like, okay, I want to explore more. So she went on YouTube. She looked up some exercise videos. She just started doing like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So at some point, all the
Yeah.
minutes started adding up. It was somebody who was doing nothing, and then she just started doing a little bit. It became easy for her because she had like zero resistance to do this very small thing. And when these 2 minutes was already okay, so you could go to 5, 10 more minutes. You're increasing your resistance a little bit
So
at a
I got to
time.
tell you, I am so happy you are in this field, that you are helping so many people. You are adorable. The playful thing,
Oh,
that's such a smart way to connect with people and help them through their apprehensions getting started. Good for you. Good for them. Good for them. You're fantastic.
yeah. I just try to find out what would be the zero resistance for her. Because if you have like this maximum resistance towards doing something, maybe you will force yourself for a little bit. Many people force themselves through diets and exercise, but at some point, if you're not really on board
Yeah.
and your mindset is not shifting, it's just gonna fall apart and you're just gonna stop
Yeah,
doing
for
it at all.
sure. Yeah.
So yeah, zero resistance,
I
that's
like
the key. And identity shift, not only giving people the exercises, but also trying to go into the mindset and see how they are actually thinking. Because I think this is how you
That's
can
right.
actually
That's right.
change.
We can't do it for them. They have to do it themselves. We can give them tools, but people have to make that commitment. It's hard to watch people make so much progress and then slide backwards, but if we can set them up for success,
Mhm.
that's nice when they get there and then they stay there. It's pretty awesome.
So how do you work with people?
So almost all the work I do is via mass media. So it was many, many
Mhm.
years ago I switched. I stopped doing personal training. I stopped doing a small group anything. Basically, everything I do is on a stage or via computer doing a writing thing. I
Mm.
do have a couple of executive level clients that hire me and I'm their person for the year, and it's a big investment for them, but they get pretty customized attention from me, and they need that and I give that. So,
Mm.
but really, most people, they to me for free guidance via a presentation or the internet, or they buy my books. I do have books for sale, and those are targeted
Uh-huh.
towards cancer patients and survivors, and they're doing well
Mm.
worldwide. And sadly, there are people with cancer everywhere. Everywhere there's
Mhm.
millions and millions of us who have
I think it's a
it,
massive thing, yeah. So and I think this is also a very big
yeah.
personal story for you.
Yeah, so I was diagnosed with
Yeah.
cancer in 2019. After 7 weeks after a clean mammogram, crystal clear mammogram, I found a lump in my breast getting out of a
Wow.
shower at a race weekend. And it was a sizey lump, and it had already spread to my lymph nodes. And so, when after all the very quick
Mm.
scans and biopsies, my doctor called and said, "I'm so sorry, but you do have cancer, and it is running through you like wildfire. We need to treat you aggressively and immediately." And they did. So I had about a year and a half of
Mm.
chemo and radiation
Wow.
and surgery. And it was awful. But I made some really good decisions along the way. And the mental fortitude was a very important facet to my success. And then my fitness really helped me a lot. I went downhill pretty quickly, but it was a lot less quickly if I had been unfit going into cancer care. And
Mhm.
then my commitment to fitness and those baby steps really helped me get back to life. I lost, I mean, golly, I lost probably 15 pounds, and I'm already a lean person. So I was skeletally thin.
Mhm.
I was bald. I remember my mom one day saying, "You need to eat. You look like you were in the Holocaust." And I said, "Yep, I do." It was awful, but I was trying. And it was about that time where I realized that, I didn't have any doubt that I would rebuild my body and get back to health and vibrancy because I'm a
Mhm.
fitness expert. Yay for me. But at that same time, I really struggled. I pained for my peers, for all the millions of people going through cancer care around the world who were brutalized by their treatment. Chemo is a beast. Radiation is tough.
Mhm.
Surgery can be debilitating. How could I use my experience and my actual expertise to help people through it? It's funny. I looked on Amazon. Everyone's got Amazon around the world, right? There are no books
Yeah.
targeting fitness and cancer.
Hmm.
And so I wrote the one, Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, Sick to Strong. And
Yay.
thank you. It's a
Amazing.
guidebook. And so the second someone's diagnosed, if they get this book in their hand, they will know how to navigate nutrition and exercise during chemo, during radiation, during surgery. And it's easier
Mhm.
said than done. Every oncologist will tell their patients, you should exercise and eat right because that will help you get closer to remission. That will help you prevent recurrence. There are endless studies that
Mhm.
prove you can help yourself get to the cure. However, these oncologists don't know how to tell you how to exercise during chemo or the others. So I
Mhm.
wrote it. The book is thorough, it's full color, it's fun. I show you how to exercise in
Wow.
exam rooms because you get stuck waiting in exam
Beautiful.
rooms for hours all week, how to do basic exercises, but then, okay, here's a whole bunch of exercises in a chair. Sorry. And then here's a whole bunch of exercises in
Mm.
bed.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of days like me where you are stuck in bed because you're so sick or you're healing. And so when you're in bed, can
Mm.
you stretch? Yep, even if your stomach feels awful. Can you do
Yeah.
leg lifts if you feel bad? Yeah, you can. And then I took a lot of showers. I was so sick that I was constantly jumping back in the shower. And I would stretch in the shower. I would put on happy music or comedians I like, Jerry Seinfeld, on my phone, and I would just stretch in the
Mm.
shower. And that was really helpful to my healing and my progress. So cancer was mean to me, but I ended up with not only Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, but there's a journal that's a really fun accompaniment to it. And then this one's my memoir. This
Mm.
is my story, my noisy cancer comeback. And
Oh.
they're available
Wow.
in all bookstores around the world. So hopefully people will check them out. And they make great gifts
Mhm.
if you love someone with cancer. If you love someone with cancer and you would like to do something to help them, these books
Mm.
will help them.
Wow, wow. You were already strong, and I think cancer just gave you like little bit more lessons, life lessons to learn, and it made you even stronger. And going into this as such a strong person, like both physically and mentally, you could really master it. You didn't just survive; you are
That is
thriving.
correct. It's interesting. And yes, I am strong and healthy and all of those things, but cancer was so hard. I mean, it really beat me up. I was a physical catastrophe. I lost all my
Mm.
strength. I was so sick. I cried every day. And even though I had made really good decisions and I continued with my career, I traveled all around the US, 30 different flights or 30 different flights out to go announce races or do chemos. I did not
Wow.
let chemo or cancer stop me, but it made life really, really hard. And I was
Mm-hmm.
certainly human. I was stressed, I was scared, I was frustrated, but keeping perspective,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people get diagnosed and they ask, why me? Sometimes there's a clear answer. Well, you bathed in the sun, you got so many sunburns, now you have skin cancer. That's why. Or you smoke cigarettes and you have lung cancer. That's
Mm-hmm.
why. But not everybody has
Yeah.
this, reason they were diagnosed. And I look at babies. There's so many babies with cancer, and they
Mm-hmm.
did nothing to earn it. So I never had a why me. I never had a pity party. I was sad. I didn't like having cancer. It certainly stressed me out, but I didn't let myself become my worst enemy. In fact, instead of being
Yeah.
an opposition to my own health by talking down to myself, I talked myself up. I was constantly reminding myself when I had to do scary things like chemo or like surgery. Every time they poked a needle through my chest, which was probably 180
Mm-hmm.
times throughout my treatment, I got poked a needle straight through my chest. I would tell myself, okay, you can do this. You can do hard things. You've built a global business. You've raised two great kids. I used to compete as a kickboxer. So whoever you are, whatever you're going through, that
Mm-hmm.
voice in your head has to start being your best friend. That voice in your head has to start reminding you of what you're capable of, what you've already been through, all of those failures, all of those hardships in the past. If you use them, they will serve as ammunition to get you through the next hard thing. And, even though many of us have
Mm-hmm.
lots of support, family and friends, we are the only ones. The cancer patient is the only one that can take the drugs and the pokes and the radiation. So it's important that you're kind to yourself, that you motivate yourself, that you're compassionate
Mm-hmm.
with yourself, but then also you're proactive. And that's where exercising, doing whatever you can when you can. I'm not saying you need to run a marathon or do a dance class, just do something that you can. And when it comes to food, know that nutrition is really powerful. Many people, when they get sick, they look towards
Mm-hmm.
vitamin C. They think, oh, I have a cold. I need to eat oranges or strawberries and get some vitamin C, which is a very powerful vitamin. Okay, well, let's talk about cancer. Then you really need nutrition to
Mm-hmm.
help you through it and at minimum prevent infections. So these things are very important. And I hope everybody who is facing this very mean disease chooses to pitch in and help their doctors out by exercising and eating wisely and getting lots of sleep.
Yeah, it's the collaboration between the doctor, you, and your body. So, and also like also
It
helping on
should
the
be. I mean,
sidelines.
imagine it's funny, there are many patients with lung cancer or esophageal cancer that are still going outside and smoking. I mean, what are you doing to
Mm.
yourself, pal? Are you trying to die as quickly as possible or make life as difficult? You don't smoke, you do the opposite of smoking. You drink lots of water and have fruits and veggies. And, we all have
Mhm.
choices to make.
I think for many people, actually, cancer or some other big disease can be like the awakening as well. So they start looking at their health and caring about their health for the
Yeah.
very first time in life once they are hit by like
Yeah.
something massive. For many people, you need that kind of wake up
Yeah.
call. But you are different. You were already doing a lot for
And
yourself.
so there's the
So.
difference is everybody can start preparing their body to do battle today. So even if you're super unfit, if something
Mhm.
we've said today has impacted you and you thought, yeah, that makes sense, today you can start preparing your body. So whether you're diagnosed with a disease like cancer or MS or diabetes or
Mhm.
you get hit by a truck, right? If you go into any sort of crisis healthy and fit and strong, you will be way more likely to recover and rebound quickly and efficiently than if you were
Yeah.
an out of shape weakling going into your crisis. So give yourself a head start. Get your body
True.
as strong as humanly possible. Do the best you can for real, not just saying you're doing your best. Actually, put your best foot forward. And then if you
Mhm.
get hurt, you slide a little bit back, not all the way back.
Yeah, it's so true. So I don't
Good.
have cancer. I never had it, but in the past month, I had
Okay.
my own health scares. Some of the screening tests didn't come back like
Okay.
completely fine. So I was cleared just 2 days ago, but I was like, okay, I might have cervical cancer like in
Yeah.
this early stage. And for me, I was like in the unknown for maybe like 1 month. And I was also talking to a friend who has been through cancer, and he was telling me that the reason that you are so strong is that you can actually, if it is cancer, you can go through this in a much better way. And I was like, okay, I can't imagine being sick, because for me, my identity is tied to
Right.
being an athlete. I've always been healthy. I don't get any viruses and stuff. If there's like flu season,
That's
I don't
great.
get it. I've always been so healthy. I'm like, oh my God, do I really have to give up this identity of being healthy? But he was like, no, you're not going to give this up. If there is something, you're just gonna use the perspective of health to deal with it, and your body will come out of it like
Yeah.
stronger and better. But yeah, luckily I'm still
Thank
fine.
goodness. I'm so happy your scans were clear and you don't have
Yeah.
anything. Yeah, it's interesting. And it's funny, when I was diagnosed, my hair was a little bit longer. It was down to my waist. And so people would say, "Oh my gosh, you're going to lose your hair. That's your
Mm.
identity." And I'd say, "No, my identity is like who I am and the knowledge I give and hopefully the kindness I share and my joy, and my identity is not my hair." I lost my hair. That was weird. I didn't like it. I never wore wigs. I just decided to be bald, but fitness is certainly an identity, and it was interesting to look at myself even when I lost a lot of weight. I would go to the gym and doing my best for whatever it was, lifting 2 pound weights, or I don't know. It was much less than I used to be, but I was there and just seeing my arms as these little skeletal sticks, no muscle. My legs
Mm.
had no muscle. And I wasn't embarrassed. I would never consider anybody's opinion of value when I know what I had been through, right? There's certainly no shame in anything. But it was definitely weird to go from being the fit girl to not fit girl at all. And I would say the majority of people around here, they kind of know who I am. They know that they knew that I was fit and
Mhm.
it didn't even matter. But when at the latter part of my chemo, when things had gotten a little easier, I'd gone for a walk on the beach and I was very skinny. Like, I'm sure people were looking at me thinking,
Mm.
that girl's an anorexic, right? And it was chemo, right? Cancer made me lose the weight. So I just had to say, who cares what they think? I'm still going to enjoy this walk on the beach and
Mm.
I'll get back. Their opinion means nothing. They don't know me. They can think I'm anorexic all they want, but I just chose to be compassionate. I never let it hold me back from going out and doing the things I wanted to do. And really, whoever you are, whatever you're going through, unless you have been intentionally mean, unless you have done intentional harm to somebody else, you don't have to be
Mm.
embarrassed. No, nobody else's opinion of you matters but your own. So yeah, it's interesting to wage that identity. Another interesting identity thing was before I was diagnosed, I had done a ton of fundraising for breast cancer to support other friends. I used to wear the pink ribbon. The
Mm.
second I was diagnosed, those pink ribbons made me recoil. I just was like, I don't want them. I don't want them on me. People were giving me gifts, a breast cancer hat or a breast cancer t-shirt or
Mhm.
bag, all these ribbons. I wanted nothing to do with them. And I thought, well, this is weird. And I don't know why,
Mm.
but I would give those gifts to my
Wow.
daughter. Now, mind you, I still fundraise for the cause, and I understand that the pink ribbon means
Mm.
stands for the cure, right? It's everybody's efforts to fight the disease and raise funds and help find a cure. But those ribbons make me feel like a victim. So some people
Mm.
with ribbons or a shirt that says like cancer warrior and it makes them feel strong. Those things make me feel weak and I want
Mhm.
nothing to do that with them. I don't wear them. I just don't. And I've decided for myself, it's fine. I do host a marathon, the Donna National Marathon to finish breast cancer. They have a little running ribbon on their logo. I have to wear it and it's fine because that's not about me. You just
Yeah.
gotta, when you're going through something hard, whatever it is, you do what's best for you and do not even consider anyone's opinion on anything other than your own.
Yeah, it sounds that you didn't want to identify with the cancer because it wasn't part of you. It was just something that was like
Yeah,
maybe
thank
visiting
you. That's
for a
right.
little bit
You
during
visited.
the time. It's like this guest who comes and overstays.
Oh, you are right. In fact, I have it. My rule is it will not be the top three things on my bio. So my bio gets distributed a bunch. Who am I? I'm
Mm.
not this person who beat cancer. I am a fitness expert. I am a speaker. I'm a race announcer. I'm all these things. And oh, by the way, I happened to beat the heck out of cancer a couple years ago. And I've written some books about it. But yeah, it's really important that people aren't like, here's Fitz Koehler, a breast cancer
Mhm.
survivor. That would bother me.
Yeah. So right now, all your books are on this
Yeah.
topic of cancer. Are you planning to write
Yeah.
anything
So my
else?
next book will be for the general adult audience on fitness. Yeah. Fitness, weight loss
Mhm.
basics about that stuff that, as you know, many people are confused about. Sometimes
Yeah.
they're misled by bad fitness people who are selling pills and selling diets and selling lies to make a buck. So, the book will be the
Mhm.
truth. It's science. It's not so complicated. It delivered by me, right? The things I have to say. My spin.
I think that anybody who's trying to sell you some kind of product or their own specific diet or whatever, their own
Yeah.
miracle thing, this is always something that you should be questioning. Maybe it does work, but what about the basics? Is your basic sleep okay? Movement, nutrition. Do you already have the basics in place? And after this, you can start, decorating
Yeah, I
your
mean, with
routines.
exercise, sky's the limit. Take all the variety you want. There's a bunch of great choices. But with nutrition, anytime someone says, okay, you have to cut out all white food, or you should do keto, keto is terrible for your cardiovascular system. You will die sooner if you do keto. I really can't name any diets that are of value. It's just what we talked about is eating the right
Hmm.
amount of the right food for the size you want to be. If I've got a cup of tea here, which I do, this is my cup of tea. If I say,
Yeah.
this is weight loss tea, I'm lying. There is no such thing as weight loss tea. There's not a weight loss bar. There's not a weight loss apple. It's just, you
Hmm.
deciding what size you want to be, eat to be that size, and then fill your day with as much nutrition as possible, the good stuff. And then of course a little wiggle room for the not so good stuff. I have milk chocolate every single day, and if I don't have it, I feel like it's a sad day. So
Hmm.
you don't have to be perfect. You just have to
Oh.
choose wisely and don't overconsume, and then have a little bit of wiggle room, a little fun, right?
Hmm. I know that some people say it's like
Yeah.
the 80-20 rule. So 80% like this optimal nutrition and 20% is
Yep.
this playful, this
Yeah.
wiggle room.
Yeah,
The
I
same
agree
for
with
you?
that. I would say I normally am like 15 to 10% of your caloric intake. It doesn't have to be perfect, but
Hmm.
I think 80-20 is fine, 90-10 is better. And eating doesn't have to be so complicated. It's just not so complicated. The place where people really struggle is quantity, right? You can eat a lot of healthy foods, but if you eat too much, your
Hmm.
body will grow bigger than you want it to be. So on the cover of
Hmm.
fitness.com, there's a block. If you press, it's called the exact formula for weight loss. It's just simple math. It'll teach you exactly how many calories to consume per day for the size you want to be. It's science, it's math, it's not my
Hmm.
opinion, and it works every time. And if you do that, then you don't have to
Hmm.
worry about cutting out all white things or cutting out fruit or cutting out this or that. It's not
I will also put all
Oh,
the
thank you.
links in the description. If you're watching or listening to this, you will find the links in the description of the YouTube video or in the Spotify podcast
Great.
as well. So, wow, that has been
Mhm.
amazing. How do you feel
I
right
just
now?
think very highly of you. And, sometimes I'm very disappointed with the
Oh.
people in our industry because they are selling lies and so forth. And you just seem like Estonia
Hmm.
is lucky to have you. And all the people that you train are so fortunate to be led by you. You're fantastic.
Yeah, I also
Okay.
work online, so it's like
That's
I have a
great.
global
Yeah,
reach.
yeah, you're doing the right thing. I like you very
Yeah,
much. That's what I'm thinking.
that's amazing. Thank you. It's like when I read through everything that you have been doing, I was like, oh my God, wow,
Oh,
that's a powerhouse of a woman. It's like, and there are like so many different nuances to doing stuff like this. It's like, wow, so many things that I didn't even know
so
about.
you've been in fitness.
I've been an athlete
Okay.
more than 10 years, but actively in coaching, I've been like maybe more
Okay.
than 1 year. And not even like full time because I also had a
Okay.
corporate job before, and now I'm doing all these other things like ghostwriting a book
Wow.
for my clients because I also have writing background and doing other things, but I'm getting more and more into the fitness area and finding ways how to educate people as well because what I have learned when talking to people, it's they are so confused because they don't
Yeah.
even know the basics, like they don't know. what nutrients different foods contain, what is carb, what is protein. For me, this is like so basic that I
Yeah.
don't even talk about it. But actually, I have realized you need to talk about this because most people are
Confused.
like
Yeah.
in the dark.
Well, so it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see how your career evolves, your corporate career and your fitness career. And mine has certainly gone all sorts of wiggly ways. But every day that I get to do this and help people understand and convince them that they need it and they should do it is a great day for me. So I'm glad you've taken on the fitness platform and are helping people too. Very important. You're delightful.
Yeah, I love learning and I also love talking to
Yeah.
people like on podcasts and interviews. And I also love teaching because this way I also learn better. I have a background in languages and writing, but also I've been in IT
Wow.
as a technical writer. I'm this person who makes complicated software understandable. I think I can also do the same with, all this fitness and nutrition information, make it easy and understandable. So the people who are supposed to understand it, they will get it
Well, I
as
believe
well.
you're the girl for the job, and your English is perfection. I mean, it's a cute little accent, but you don't miss a beat as far as proper English
Yeah.
goes. That's impressive. Did you learn when you were tiny?
I started learning
Okay.
when I was 9, and I also did my bachelor's in
Okay.
English language and culture, and I got my master's in
Okay. All
UK,
right.
England. So I have a master's in creative writing, and I was in translation industry for
Have,
more than 10 years, translating from Estonian to English.
okay.
So
And have
that's
you
why.
written books?
Yeah, the main book that I have out right now is about how to write a novel in 30 days, like
Okay.
50,000 words
Okay.
in 30 days. This NaNoWriMo challenge that usually people are doing in November. And also have a fiction novel published, and I have like a lot of drafts and
Okay.
manuscripts that need to be published. And actually, in Estonia, I recently published a book about nutrition. But yeah, this is in Estonian. I want to translate it as well because it's also like the basics about nutrition and the mindset around it mostly, and how to build like the identity and habits. And it's like talking about how there's no one right way to eat and do stuff, but I'm also like emphasizing how important it is to find a way of eating that
Yeah.
fits with your goals, because it's like there's optimal
So,
nutrition
so
for
you're right. There's
anybody.
no one right way, but there's definitely the wrong way. We know what the wrong way is, right? Yeah, that's very
Yeah.
easy to see. So that's
Yeah.
great. Well, you are an absolutely delight. I appreciate you having me on your show.
Yeah, and I appreciate you being here, so
Of
thank you
course.
very much.